AI, it feels like it's changing everything, right? Especially when it comes to school. But how do you actually use these crazy powerful tools without, getting into trouble? Well, that's what we're going to break down today. We're looking at the official guide for using AI in your studies the right way. All right, let's just get right to it. This is the question on every student's mind, isn't it? Can I use AI for my degree? Should I? The short answer? Yes. But, and this is a big but, it comes with some super important rules you absolutely have to follow. Okay, before we dive any deeper, you have to get this one thing straight, and it's a huge warning from the guide itself. These AI tools, they're literally designed to sound super authoritative and convincing. The problem is, they can sound just as convincing when they're totally making stuff up. That's why your own critical thinking is, without a doubt, your best defense. So let's kick off section 1. Think of AI as your new study buddy. It can be awesome, for sure. But just like with any partner project, you gotta set some ground rules. You need to know what it's good at, and maybe even more importantly, what it's terrible at. Right now, we're seeing students go one of two ways with this. First, you've got folks using it as their main starting point, just diving right in. The danger there? You can start relying on it way too much, right from the beginning. The other way? Using it as a secondary source. So you do your own reading first, get a handle on the topic, and then you ask the AI to help explain tricky concepts or explore different angles. This way, you're the one in the driver's seat. The AI is your co-pilot, not your chauffeur. Okay, on to section 2. Now, AI might feel like this magical, free thing, but trust me, it's not. There are some pretty big hidden costs we need to talk about, both ethically and for the environment. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the ethical red flags first. So first off, there's a ton of ethical baggage here. A lot of these AIs were trained by scraping basically the entire internet, often without giving any credit to the artists, writers, and creators who made that stuff. Then you've got the fact that a lot of the cleanup work to refine the AI is done by low-paid workers in the global south. And on top of that, since AI learns from human history, it can easily spit out the same nasty biases, like racism and sexism that it learned from us. And then there's the environmental hit. Get this, a simple question you ask a big AI model can burn through about 10 times more energy than a simple Google search. 10 times. For creating an image, it can be 100 times more. Plus, the giant data centers that run all this, they use a staggering amount of water just to stay cool. It's a massive footprint. And all of this brings us to what might be the single most important rule. Because AI is so good at sounding convincing, it can just make things up. It'll state something completely false with total competence. They even have a name for it, hallucination. So the bottom line is the responsibility is 100% on you. You must, and I mean must, check every single thing it gives you. Every statement, every fact, and especially every reference. Okay, so we've talked about the risks. Now let's get practical. How do you actually use this stuff without getting into trouble? This next section is basically your playbook for doing it right and staying on the good side of academic integrity. All right, so let's break down the do's and don'ts. On the do side, totally fine to use it to brainstorm ideas or to get a simple explanation of a really complex topic. But the don'ts column is where you need to pay close attention. You can never just pass off AI work as your own. That's the big one. That means no copy-pasting text, no submitting an AI image without saying so, and definitely, absolutely not listing references the AI gave you unless you've gone and found and read those sources yourself. You know, when you really get down to it, the key difference is super simple. It's all about attribution and critical thinking. Are you using the tool to help your brain think, and are you being honest about it? If so, you're good. But if you're letting it do the thinking for you or trying to hide that you used it, that's when you're in big trouble. Okay, section 4. There's one more really crucial piece to this puzzle. It's not enough to just use AI ethically. You also have to be totally transparent about it in your final work. What does that mean? It means you have to declare it. And just to be clear, this is not a friendly suggestion. A lot of universities now have a mandatory section right there on the assignment cover sheet where you have to spell out exactly how you used AI. It's a formal, required part of turning in your work. So, what does that declaration actually look like? It's really just 3 simple steps. Step 1. Just list the AI tools you used. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, whatever. Step 2. Get specific about how you use them.
Did you use them to brainstorm, to get a summary, to help critique a draft? Just say so. And step 3, this is the most important one. You have to confirm that the work you're submitting, the actual text, is all your own originating work.
All right, so we've spent a lot of time on the risks and the rules, and for good reason. But let's end on a more positive note. It's so important to remember that AI isn't just a minefield of problems. When we use it the right way, it opens up some seriously cool opportunities for our own learning and for the world. And this is where it gets really exciting. Just think about it. You could use AI to create super realistic patient scenarios to practice your clinical skills. Or imagine using it to quickly summarize mountains of research papers, saving you tons of time. And thinking bigger, AI has this incredible potential to bring education and resources to communities that have been historically left out. That's a pretty amazing mission, right? So here's the final takeaway. This technology is moving at lightning speed. It's not slowing down. And that means the responsibility is on you, on all of us, to keep learning, to stay informed about what it can do, and to keep thinking critically about how we use it. So the real question I want to leave you with is, how are you going to stay on top of it all?